They have stopped, and you can do it now. Let's see what the Spurs are taking at number 2.
Pick in the 2025 NBA Draft, the San Antonio Spurs select Dylan Harper.
There you go. Congratulations, Bruni, to your team picking Dylan Harper. Cade Cunningham light,
Look,
as people have called him.
If you're a Spurs fan, shout out to Ace Bailey clapping it up for his teammate over
Big.
there. If you're a Spurs fan, you should be thrilled. Not just happy. You should be thrilled that the Spurs lucked into this number 2 pick. Because hopefully, for the rest of Wembanyama's career, you will never be picking in the top 10, top 14 ever again. Like, that's how it should go. So, with that being the case, this was your last real chance at getting lucky. And you got lucky. So, with that being the case, I think this is a great situation. And also, you lucked into the number 2 pick in a good draft.
Yeah.
Right? You could have lucked into last year's draft, and you're drafting Alex Sarr or something like that. No offense to Alex Sarr, but I think Harper is a better prospect here.
Right.
A higher ceiling. But Dylan Harper as a prospect, we can get into it. Just an incredible guy, an incredible player that can get to the basket at will. And it's not just that he can get to the basket. It's not just that he puts his head down and gets to the rim. He does it in a variety of ways, and he's incredibly crafty. He attacks angles. He attacks players' hips. He finishes over players and finishes around players. I believe it was around 65% at the rim in the half court.
Yep.
Just incredible off ball screens, and there will be question marks at which we've talked about in our videos of him, but I just think this guy is way, way too talented and played on a terrible Rutgers team with no spacing. Now he plays with Victor Wembanyama. I mean, just give him the ball and get out the way. He is a train.
Yeah, he's when you talk about his floor, it's just he's going to be a very under control guard, and at 6'6", that's what you want in today's NBA. Now, if he's able to develop a pull up game, like we are talking about like a Cade Cunningham-esque player right out the gates. And then you already mentioned his finishing 68% at the rim, 8 attempts per game at the rim. 80% of his makes are unassisted at the rim. So he is a guy that just, like you said, goes downhill and hits the basket. So this is a great pick for the Spurs, obviously. Only one place I think you could have gone at number 2. Where do you see him fitting in with De'Aaron Fox? And
so that's the question, in that you did just trade for De'Aaron Fox and you drafted Stephon Castle. Again, you had no inclination that you would be getting the number 2 pick in this draft.
Right.
Like, you just couldn't have prepared for that. So you trade for De'Aaron Fox, you have Stephon Castle, and I do think Harper is at his best with the ball in his hands, clearly, but he's also going to be a rookie. And I don't think we need to be putting that much pressure on a rookie on a team that is trying to win right away. So you bring him off the bench, you let him create whenever, either with Fox, like you rotate that trio, right? But because I also think I also think that Harper can play off the ball a decent bit, not in the way of shooting yet, even though he shot 37% on catch and shoot threes. But as a cutter, I see a lot of resemblance in Stephon Castle, like a guy who can catch it on the move and go, and then transition can get to the basket, a secondary creator. Like, there's a lot of ways in which I think this just works.
Yeah.
I'm really just not worried about it, because then you lock in as the shooting aspect of it. If he can elevate that a little bit more, I think that we're talking about an all-star in the next 5 years.
Yep. Congrats to the Spurs.
Shout out the Spurs.